When the Red Scare first formed in early 2009, they knew they were put on this earth to complete 3 tasks. Play their hearts out to anyone who would listen, rock as hard as humanly possible, and have a hell of a good time doing it. At least, that was the plan. Nobody in the Red Scare would never ever live the same life ever again. This is their story.
Remember how we felt that long hot summer night on the cold floor of the basement. Damn, it felt so right on that gravel.
One drunken night at a shady bar in Toledo, Ohio, called the Dirty Apple, drummer and resident tough guy Sean Manos used his muscles to bully local musicians into forming the Red Scare with him.
I mean, I was probably asked to join this band not only because of my incredible talent for what I do with my craft, but because I got these guys to show.
Well, the only thing I can really say about Sean Manos is that, I mean, he's one of the bigger guys I know.
I'd say I probably go to the gym about 5 times a week now.
He's been on creatine, protein. He's gained like 60 pounds, just mass muscle, past, I'd say 5 months. That's all the dude, that's all he does.
Absolutely.
That kid is a fucking meat jockey piece of shit.
He's always the shorter kid growing up and got picked on a bunch.
Kind of full of himself kind of character. I mean, could never lose an argument, because if you were afraid to lose an argument, because, you know, he'd be like a fucking Wookiee and just pull your arms out of the sockets.
No, you shut the up. I need this at least a couple times a day. I mean, they just need to work sometimes, and people completely blow it out of proportion, you know, like I'm some kind of meathead or I'm some kind of, you know, tough guy or something.
Yeah, I think Sean uses the same guy that Jose Canseco used in the 90s to feed his roid rage.
Manos has roid rages.
I'm always trying to work on my body, and everybody keeps talking about how I have these roid rages because I always get angry for no reason, and I have no idea why anybody keeps thinking I get angry for no reason.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man.
I don't get angry for no reason at all. There's always a good reason every time I get mad. You know? It's bullshit.
He's a pretty good drummer, I'll give him that, but at the same time, it's like his ambitions were always empty, meaning like he really didn't, you know, he didn't really care.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm in this band, or was in this band to begin with. I mean, it was with a bunch of no-talent assholes, you know, couldn't even play their instruments, you know.
You could always tell he really didn't care. You know, he'd just sit there throughout shows, you know, just kind of playing whatever he'd set up. He'd never even talk to anybody.
And, you know, they wanted to get a talented person in their band, so I was like, all right, yeah, I'll join.
There's always the guy that was just quiet, like lifting stuff all the time.
When he's not lifting, he pretends to lift.
But on the tour bus, he's always acting like he's fake lifting weights.
In his sleep in the bunk, he's always just doing this for some reason.
These 2 guys stay awake, man. They stay completely charged and ready to go, like lightning and thunder, man.
Because it makes it feel that he not only fake lifts weights, he fake everything. Like, he'd look himself in the mirror, act like he's buff.
You know, sometimes, you know, my guns don't have iron, you know. They don't have any ammunition, you know. There's nothing that I can, you know, with, you know, so. One
time Manos, he was fake lifting weights on stage.
Manos just started, like, pumping fake iron. I don't know how to put that.
There's this one guy, I don't know what he was doing, but he was lifting weights up there by himself. I don't know if he was trying to impress somebody or what, but he was doing his thing.
It's like, Sean, what are you doing? He's like, I'm lifting weights.
And I just don't get where his sense of entitlement came from doing this.
That kid is a joke.
That's what winning's all about.
Manos first used his tough guy persona to bully Joseph Roberts into becoming the Red Scare's rhythm guitarist.
Joey is someone that's just at a whole different level of drinking.
I drank my first beer when I was 5.
Joe was probably the one guy that I couldn't drink under the table.
I mean, back in the day, he used to drink 5 liters of vodka, do an eighth of marijuana, and a half ounce of Coke.
Yeah, there was a point in my life where I was just drowning bottles and bottles of liquor.
Yeah, he's a bottle drinker.
He goes through about 2 cases of bottles a day.
It's whiskey that I really like.
He would just sit at the bar by himself, hours upon end, just drinking shots, drinking beers, mostly shots. A few beers in there, I think, is just a wash or whatever. I don't even know.
I was on dialysis for, I don't know, 8 weeks? 8 weeks? Maybe 6? Hell, I don't even remember.
Then he had to have his liver transplanted and told him that he couldn't ever drink again.
And my doctor advised me to... He kind of understood that I wasn't going to quit drinking. I don't know why.
He wakes up around 10 or 11 and just starts downing beers.
He just gets after it hour after hour.
He just spilled juice all over him. Look at this guy.
What the fuck?
The guy can't even stand up past 2 in the afternoon.
But when he was on the liquor, he got really, really drunk one night. We were playing a show. We were headlining at this huge festival.
I had like a half a bottle of Wild Turkey.
We're all standing there having a blast, having the greatest times of our lives.
And I was loaded as hell. Loaded as hell.
I don't even know what happened. It was one of the most brutal things I've personally ever seen.
He got so drunk during one of his little look at me parts.
Joey has very few solos in our songs because Mikey likes to play the solos for all the girls he has in the crowd.
Middle of a song, guy standing there just blacks out, passes out.
Like literally face planted onto Sean's crash cymbal.
I crashed my head on Sean's cymbal.
He straight passed out.
Got a pretty deep gash for it, too.
And just laid on top of the bass drum for a good 5 minutes.
And then I puked all over his bass drum.
And I didn't really care because, I mean, they all sucked anyway, but...
He was pretty pissed off at me for that.
I mean, I paid a good $22 for the cymbal that he spilled his vomit all over, so...
I don't really remember too much after that. At all.
It was pretty sad. I mean, we did our best to compensate, but what do you do when your buddy passes out on a drum set like that and you can't play it off?
I didn't like it too much. I tried to pick him up and kick his ass, but I couldn't do it. He was lifeless, so I just left him there. I thought he was dead. Show was over. We got booed off the stage, but I just went back and lifted.
I tell you, man, it's a rough thing to see a dear friend go through something like that.
It's gotten to the point where we don't want to replace him. He's a staple in the band, so we had to put him in a wheelchair when he's on stage.
I couldn't really play some of the parts because, you know, I don't know if you guys ever played guitar on your leg. It's not that easy.
And we even, sometimes when he's too drunk, we have to have an audio recording of his guitar playing in the background while he just pretends to play.
And they were looping over my guitar parts. I was just, you know how like all those pop singers, they lip sync? Yeah, I was guitar syncing, if that's what I'll give it that name.
It's not working out so well.
Awkward situation for me to be in.
Next to join the band was lead guitarist Michael Lawton.
You ever read Penthouse? Those little stories you like read about in there that you're just like, that's probably made up. There's probably some sick fucking writer somewhere writing about stuff. No, those are all me. Hustler, they don't even have to pay me. I kind of do it for fun on the side besides the band. I write in my stories.
All right, you know that guy, what's his name, Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild? I've heard rumors that he got all of his skills from Mikey. Like, it's just absurd, the things I've seen this guy do, things I can't even talk about because I'm trying to stay PG to PG-13 in this interview right now.
He is a sexy and suave ladies' man. He is also Joey's archenemy.
They're always button heads, both being guitarists, and Mikey gets what he wants. No matter what he sees, if he sees someone in the crowd, he brings her backstage, and Joey tries to undercut him sometimes, and it never works.
Motherfucker just jumps right in.
Mikey was able to get play, and Joey, the only play he ever had was at the bottom of a bottle.
I mean, a little prick just is, he just always wants what I have.
That kid is one hell of a bottom feeder.
Thinks he's, king of the palace.
Joey would always go up and try to take some of Mikey's girls.
Joey is someone that has no game at all. He can't open, he can't close.
I get the B squad.
Basically, the kid's a train wreck when it comes to girls. I mean, he's as bad with girls as Joey is with alcohol, and that's a lot to say.
That kid is a schmuck.
Well, the thing about Mikey that people don't really realize, which is probably the only person in this whole band that I've ever respected, he can fight.
I've seen them just up and fight over a girl, and Mikey always wins.
That one time that Mikey got me on my feet, or off my feet.
One day Mikey just said, that's enough.
You're just sitting there. I turned to be like, Joey,
This is my cup of coffee.
Don't put your sugar in it.
But I already have. And my cream.
Mikey's somebody who can really throw a punch or two, I mean, next to me, of course,
He got me in a headlock, and
It's kind of like one of these numbers right here.
got me to scream, "Uncle."
And then Joey was saying, Uncle, 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 please, no, stop it.
Actually, I screamed pinochle because I was drunk.
Unfortunately, the feuding the Red Scare did not stop at Joey and Mikey. It spread to lead singer Chris Warden and bass player John Lavelle.
You're a big man playing 4 strings, huh?
A couple times during shows where I'm just jumping all over the place or throwing my bass around me doing a flip or whatever, he just gave me this weird look. And I just always had a bad feeling about it.
Probably said something he shouldn't have, and it probably went down. I know Chris has always got a Bowie knife on him. So, it just kind of made sense it happened. I know how crazy Chris can be, I've seen him go off on someone before and just straight shoot someone in the head.
And it was one day after a show, I was like, hey, good show, Chris.
Grabbed a knife, shoved him up against the wall, and put it straight to his throat.
And he goes, I will cut you.
So we're just all standing there like, what happened?
It came fast and seemingly out of nowhere. Before Lavelle knew it, his life would be in jeopardy.
Chris Warden, where do we begin?
This is one of those guys you don't want to meet in a dark alley, and hope he doesn't have a mace in his hand or something.
Met the guy about 8 months ago. Heard he's gonna sing for us. He seemed pretty cool. A couple months after that, I got a brand new bass, and as soon as I pulled out of the bag, I just saw a look in his eyes. He wanted that bass. And since then, anytime I walk in the jam session late, he's plucking away at my bass, doing his thing, and
Well, there was one time we were in the middle of practice.
They got into this big argument because
Chris wanted to play John's bass real bad. John wouldn't let him because he's a prick.
ugly little instrument, but Chris wanted to play it, so
And Chris is like, hey, Lavelle, let me play that bass for a little bit. Get the feel for it. I'd really like to do something like that. Got this real serious look in his face.
Dude, what the man? It's a song. Just let me play one song.
am I just gonna stand there? Am I gonna sit in the crowd, have a beer?
No, sing or whatever, dude. I don't give a Just do something.
Chris just got this wild look in his eyes, just like the fucking devil.
It's always my fucking bass.
I just want to play your bass, Lavelle, for like a song.
No. He's a hard time letting it go, and
God,
get
you're
your bass.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? It's always my fucking bass with you. You call me and come to my house, just play my fucking bass. Always.
I'm tired of you lifting it up. I want to fucking lift it up and rock it out.
I think he developed quite a little chip on his shoulder to me towards that.
Eventually, Lavelle let Chris play a cover of the Beastie Boys' Fight for Your Right for a couple of shows. Lavelle sang, while Chris rocked the hell out of the bass. Lavelle seemed happy singing, and Chris seemed happy playing the bass guitar.
That's when my wish will finally be
And on May 24th, 2009, Jonathan Lavelle almost lost his life.
And I heard about all this shit in the paper, and man, I kind of feel bad for him.
One night, as Chris prepared dinner, Lavelle attempted to apologize for an argument occurring earlier that day. Unprovoked, Chris quickly turned to Lavelle and stuck 6 inches of cold American-made cutlery deep into Lavelle's gullet. As Lavelle squirmed and protested in vain, Chris proceeded to knock Lavelle unconscious. Before joining the Red Scare, Chris briefly attended culinary school, and he never ever forgot just exactly where to cut in order to get the best meat possible. Chris sliced and diced his way into Lavelle's innards. With each precise cut, Lavelle lay bleeding more and more like a stuck pig. As Chris had tasted Lavelle's warm blood as it oozed out of his body, he knew he wanted more. He knew he wanted to try his favorite part of flesh. Lavelle's liver. Chris didn't stop eating Lavelle's liver until it was completely gone. By the grace of God, Lavelle managed to gain consciousness.
I don't know how a man gets cut open, gets part of his liver taken out right in front of him, and continues to live. I don't even understand how the man's still alive. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to live with myself, first of all. Second of all, how does someone get cut open, get their fucking liver cut off, and continue living? I mean, he's got to fucking have ice water in his veins. I don't understand it. He's a freak. He's a fucking freak.
I'm kind of surprised he's alive. I am really surprised. What?
I thought that was kind of f***ed up.
He apparently he just got out of the hospital not too long ago.
They wanted me to come and pick him up. I wouldn't go. I was too busy lifting.
Laying in that hospital bed, I was just terrified he wanted seconds. I mean, I have plenty of other delicious organs to offer this American public.
A couple, I think the doctor said it's like 106, 107 stitches.
You know, he was hiding out with a bunch of bums and hobos around trash cans.
He was in an abandoned warehouse, basically living there.
So the cops roll up.
And they surrounded it. I guess there's like, I don't know, 15 to 20, 25 of those SWAT characters.
They surround him, you know, with, you know, AK-47s, you know. None as big as the guns that I have naturally, but...
And he took a couple of them down.
They take him out, you know, they take him to jail. Chris ain't coming back.
He's going away for probably forever at this point, unless the judge takes some kind of leniency or he pleads insanity.
Thank God the cops finally found Chris. Like I couldn't sleep for over a fortnight, which in case you didn't know that means 2 weeks.
Anybody out there who knows how to sing, we'd appreciate your help.